Hey, good day, folks. It's Tourism Tim Warren here with another exciting episode of Tourism Marketing TV. If you've ever exhibited in a travel trade show or you're considering making that investment, you really need to pay attention to this interview. Because here's the problem. There is no other venue in the world where you can promote and exhibit your travel offerings, whether it's a B&B, a whole country, a tour, better than a trade show one-on-one with buyers, consumers, if you do it right. The problem is that so many people just rush right in, and they think that just setting up a booth and that their eighth grade son designed is gonna cut it. This is a big investment, and it can yield great returns if you do it right. So here today, I'm here with Jeremy Garrett, and we're going to talk about an exciting new world-class travel trade show and consumer show coming to San Francisco, fall of 2012. And not only you're going to learn a little bit more about the show, but more importantly, between Jeremy and myself, we have an enormous experience in what works and what doesn't in travel trade show marketing. And so we're going to give you a couple tips to help you with your marketing and travel trade shows. And on that note, good day, Jeremy.
Thank you, Tim. Thanks for having me on. I've been on a couple of times, and this is a topic that we've really hit a number of times about how to be successful in delivering a trade show booth, or how to get the best ROI on your trade show marketing.
Absolutely, yeah. It is all about return on investment, whether it's your trade shows or it's your website. I'm like you, are all about the bottom line. So, before we go into that, why don't you give our viewers just a little bit of background about yourself, because it's very impressive. And not only do you have this cool new One World Travel Mart, but you've got a bunch of other shows that you've been very successful at, and I'm just super excited about this new one.
Well, thank you, Tim. You and I have been working together for 10 years now in the travel and tourism marketing sphere. And as you remember, I started working with you way back when I was at the International Ecotourism Society. I then spun off from there and started my own ecotourism, adventure tourism marketing company called Nature Communications. And so for the past 3 years, I've been concentrating on a new venture called J2L Events, and we focus completely on travel trade shows. And I like it a lot because I'm able to bring in all the experience and the expertise that, as well as all the contacts from all the people that I used to connect with in the consulting arena. But now I'm able to provide them the opportunity to deliver something that is right up their alley. It gives them that face-to-face exposure that we're talking about, and it allows them to connect with both travel trade and also with consumers.
Well, the couple of shows that you've done in Boston and Philadelphia and now in Montreal, as I recall, you've really helped turn those shows around and had some record attendance and a lot of really, really happy exhibitors, which is, I really commend you in challenging times that you're giving people a profitable vehicle to promote themselves. And what kind of numbers were you getting at some of your other shows as far as attendance? I know that you had some records.
Right. The queen of our crop is the Boston Globe Travel Show, which we've been managing for 8 years now. And the event has just continued to bloom and blossom. It's one of the top attended travel shows in the U.S. 4 years running. This year we had record attendance of 24,500.
Wow.
That consisted of primarily 22,000 consumers and about 2,500 travel trade. And that numbers are great. But what we really like to boast about is the knowledge that at least $6 million was booked on site over the weekend. And that's just incredible. We had a number of our large sponsors that said, I invested $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in the show, and I recouped my cost by mid-Saturday. So everything on top of that was gravy. Plus, they got all the great exposure. The Philadelphia Inquirer Travel Show is now going into its third year, and it too is growing in leaps and bounds. This year we had just under 9,000 attendants. So for 2013, we're expecting over 10,000. But again, with the numbers, what we're most pleased about is we quadrupled the number of on-site bookings from the first year to the second year. Our whole goal as a company is to make sure that our exhibitors, our sponsors leave happy, that they really have the bookings to really talk about, to really quantify the return on investment that they've made with us and with the show. And then, as you mentioned, the One World Travel Mart taking place this September. We'll talk a little more in specific about that. And then a brand new show that we're very excited about for February 2013 is the Salon du Voyage de Montreal, also the Montreal Travel Show. It's going to take place in Quebec Province, which is a French-speaking province. So it's going to be a really interesting, really exciting. And Montreal itself is the second largest city in Canada, so we're expecting great dividends from that show as well.
Fantastic. Well, you can see why, folks, that when Jeremy told me about this show that they had been approached to really build from scratch, One World Travel Mart, you can see why I took notice, because frankly, not all trade show management companies are created equally, and there are some companies out there that just think that just putting up a show and it's kind of the Field of Dreams trade show management that it will be a success. And there's so much that goes into a successful show, and you guys, I just really have to commend you. You do the work. You've got the experience, and so I'm totally behind this show becoming a success, because we need something out here, not only on the West Coast, but also something that's representative for the globe, to bring together the trade, because this is not just going to be a consumer show. This will be a full-on 2 days of trade, evenings, networking, trainings, and to me, that is where the real value of a show like this really comes to play, because nothing beats the one-on-one relationships that you can start and foster over time at these sort of events. I mean, video like this is awesome, but nothing beats face-to-face, and talking about shared visions and goals and challenges over a drink and how we can solve it together. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about, what was your vision about One World Travel Mart? And then let's take a look at some of the trainings here. I've got on my other monitor here some of the trainings coming up, and including myself, yours truly is one of the trainers, so I'm excited about that. But what was the vision of One World Travel Mart?
Well, and the vision, it actually goes back a couple of years now. We are partnering with an Indian travel events company called Fairfest, and Fairfest has been very successful in the India travel space, which India, as you know, has a billion people to play around with, and they do very successful shows for the past 20-25 years in India that are both trade oriented and also consumer oriented. And so they saw in us a great partner to provide an international show, or an international focus for a show in the U.S. Very similar to London's World Travel Market, which I'm sure most people know about, WTM or ITB. Our concept is to bring that style of event to the U.S. Many things that we've heard over the years, especially attending something like WTM, was, I wish there was something like this in the U.S. I wish that I could connect with the U.S. buyer. As an international destination, there's really no opportunity for me to do so. Mm-hmm. And so, we said, well, there are travel shows, and they said, well, they're almost all consumer focused, or they are closed opportunities. So you have to belong to a certain network, or they're, very limited in who is invited. So what they requested, and what we are providing with OTM, is an open buyers conference. Now, what that means is it's open in that anyone could attend as a travel trade professional, whether you're a supplier, whether you're a tour operator, whether you're a travel agent, meeting planner, travel media, you're all invited. And the idea is to have appointment system, or to, and we'll talk about the program in just a second, to just come in, and you as a buyer, you could come in and set appointments from 8:30 in the morning till 6 at night, or you could conceivably take some of the seminars and get some more information, and then do some networking in the evening, and then some appointments. So we wanted to make it very flexible, but provide enough of a framework, enough of a structure that you come in and you feel like, well, I don't have a meeting set up at this time, but that's a really great seminar that's going on. I'm going to check that out. So we're really excited about it, and the international attention has been phenomenal. We're seeing companies who are committing to exhibit who have never come to the U.S. before. And who you're going to find when you come to this show is the actual people that do the trips, that you're going to be talking with on the phone. It's not some representative from somewhere else. These are the people in the destination that you're going to be meeting with. So we're very excited about that.
I would also add to that is that, I know that there's a lot of people who are watching this that are from all over the world and are very interested in the U.S. and let's put it this way, the North American market, and let's just say that the Americas, because I know you'll be pulling from South America too. Not only can you meet with the consumers, but there's so many opportunities to connect with partners that have got clientele base here in North America and who are looking for new venues. They've got the clientele, they've got the relationships, partnering with those people, and you providing the tour services in your country is just a fabulous way to go. So, for all of you that have been to the all the other international shows, I'm talking to you. You need to show up to make this show count. You need to be here to really anchor this show as one of the world-class events. And you could say, I was there the first year. Remember when? So why don't we talk a little bit about, you've given a good snapshot of some of the people who's coming. What are some of the trainings, and especially the trade side of things? Let's kind of get a little snapshot of it, and I'll bring some of this up on the screen in the background as you're talking.
Okay.
In post-production.
Some of the really exciting destinations I'm excited to see. Dubai is coming. They've never been to the U.S. before. We've got companies from Vietnam, from Thailand, from India, from Egypt, from Tanzania, from Germany, Peru, Turkey, lots of African destinations. Obviously a lot of Asia and Pacific destinations, because San Francisco is such a hub for those destinations. But we're also going to have a number of companies who are U.S. based. The American Cruise Lines is a small niche company that they do cruises around the U.S. and North America. We've got some smaller companies from the San Francisco area. We've got a luggage brand called Tutto Luggage that's based out of San Francisco. So it's not just international, it's not just U.S., but it's a merge of them. But it will have a very strong international focus, because those destinations in particular really need to meet with the U.S. buyers, and they're really looking for that opportunity to connect, to network, to make new business for the upcoming years. And so I know there are a lot of companies that may already have partners, but they're looking to expand into new destinations. So, even if you think you've got all your trips planned as a supplier, maybe you've already got all your destinations looped in for the next 2 or 3 years, it's still an opportunity for you to connect, to find out some new sources, and we're just extremely excited.
Besides the great trainings, we'll cover those in a second. We are going to give you guys some tips. I just looked at my clock and noticed, as usual, I can hardly ever allocate enough time for this, but I really want to reinforce what Jeremy said, is that meeting the consumers face to face is golden, but really the biggest opportunity, if you do this right, is meeting face to face with other suppliers, travel agents, countries, and really working on, because you have shared problems and shared opportunities, and you have opportunities to joint venture, to cross promote, and that is where you can truly leverage your time in that relationship, unlike a way that you could never do in any other venue. And that's why I'm just so thrilled that there's going to be 2 days of the trade side of the events. And not only against these great trainings, but the stuff that happens in the evening trainings and the social hours and the hospitality suites. And I didn't tell you I'm wanting to do one, so stay tuned for that. But that's really where the fun and action happens. So why don't we? I want, maybe we can just get into some of the tips. But I just kind of want an overview of the trainings that you're doing are focused on marketing, on business development, and you've got some top-notch people that are doing it. Is there any ones in particular that you want to mention out there that are coming that you think are going to really be special?
Sure.
They're all going to be special, of course, but
yeah, the actual program will run from about 8:30 or 9 a.m. in the morning and end up about 2:30 or 3 in the afternoon. And then the rest of the afternoon is completely set aside for networking, for appointments. And as I mentioned, if you wanted to, as a buyer, you could come in and set appointments from dusk till dawn. There's that flexibility and that opportunity. But if you want to come in and learn some new things, we've got stuff set aside for travel agents, talking about small ship cruising, talking about host agencies. CLIA will be there to do a certification training for travel agents. And then we'll have things set aside for tour operators and for suppliers. We're going to be talking with a gentleman who's created a small marketing network representing Africa and South America. And maybe there's an opportunity to build upon that and to learn what you have in common or where you can focus in the future. We'll have a number of destination seminars. Dubai is going to do something, Thailand, Fiji, the Florida Keys, India, a number of others. So there will be opportunities to learn about new destinations or existing destinations that maybe are revamping what they're providing, and then an opportunity for training. And then, of course, because we're in San Francisco, it's the perfect market, we're going to have 2 afternoon sessions on the Friday afternoon about gay and lesbian tourism, how to tap into that market, how to be effective with them, and you're going to learn from the premier trainer on that topic. So and then of course, Tim, you're going to be talking about online marketing and how to be more effective in that. So I think it's just going to be a really, really neat mix of things, and you may not be interested in all the topics, but I think you'll find something of interest to you.
Definitely, and besides the aspect of what I'm going to be teaching on as far as the internet is, I want to use the social aspect of social media. I want to give people 3 incredibly simple but super powerful tips on how they can use social media to get your very best clients selling for you 24/7 and practically for free. This is word of mouth, and it always has been, always will be the #1 best form of travel, tourism, and hospitality marketing. I'm going to show you some tips on how to do that. You're going to leave this. This is a workshop. This is not a seminar, and really how you can make that go. So on that note, why don't we jump into some trade show marketing tips that we promised. I'm going to throw out the challenge that here's what I see, is that and most people, frankly, they stink at travel trade show marketing. They've got a booth that doesn't say what they do, where they do it, or why anybody should consider them. And people walk by their booth in about, the trade show shuffle, might get by their booth in 5 seconds. It can be radically different. And so, Jeremy, what would you? Before that we did this interview, we talked about a couple things, but why don't you share a little bit about the importance of having a clear, descriptive header, and how to use your business name if it's descriptive or not.
Right, and honestly, I think the very first rule of thumb when you're doing a trade show, whether you're trying to reach travel trade or you're trying to reach consumers, is you have to be engaging. You have to be towards the front of your booth, and you have to, smile at people as they come by. Don't be going through your BlackBerry and looking at your messages. Don't be sitting back and, very dour and sour. But you have to be engaging and, excited. If you're not excited about your product, no one else will be. So that's the very first thing.
Yeah.
But I think, there's different rules of how to catch people's attention. So if you have any sort of a descriptive background, whether it's a pop-up, display case, or it's a banner that you bring, it needs to be simple enough to catch people's attention, but descriptive enough to give them an idea of who you are, what you do, where you work, things like that. So we were talking about some key things to list on there. Your company name is not necessarily the lead unless you're someone who's been in business for 30 years. If you're a brand new company, unless your company actually defines what you do, you might maybe not put it as such a high focus, but you might say you're a rafting company, and let's say you do rafting in Fiji, just for an example. So maybe your company's name is Fiji Rafting Trips. That's a perfect name. Put it up there. It tells you where you're going. Fiji tells you what you do, rafting, and tells that you're an operator. Now, if your name is AAA Travels, that doesn't tell me anything that you do river rafting. So you might downplay the importance of that, but maybe your lead is providing rafting excursions throughout South America, right?
Yeah.
That's descriptive. It tells people exactly what you do. Then you can go into a little bit more detail. How long have you been in business? And all of these, you want to tweak it so you look the best. Do you have a great safety record? Do you have certain certifications? Do you give me some more ideas here?
Have you been featured in major media? Once again, what you're talking about, Jeremy, and then I preach this all the time, is credibility. When you've got lined up and you've got a lot of tours, and Jeremy and I go back in the active travel space, and so the consumers are particularly want to make sure, and travel trade as well, that you're experienced, you're fun, you're safe, you've got lots of credibility, you know what you're doing, you're not going to be killing your guests or someone else's client. So credibility is king. So you definitely, and this is part of getting your clients selling for you. So, and you want to make sure that you're that big, and you described it very well, Jeremy, the descriptive headline and other text on your site needs to be big and bold. Don't put these little teeny small fonts and little teeny pictures. I think that headline, you should be able to see it from 30 feet away or longer and be able to read it so that you do stand out from the rest of the crowd. These are simple little techniques, but they make a huge difference on standing out. I also wanted to mention something that when you come, I hope that you come to Jeremy's show, the One World Travel Mark, and not only as an attendee, but as an engaged tourism professional and an exhibitor. If you choose to exhibit, you should call Jeremy right away, because one of the things that I teach, and Jeremy is a huge proponent of, is that when you're not just working with this thing called One World Travel Mark, you're working with Jeremy. And he can help you come up with ways to stand out from the crowd. Talk a little bit about ways people have worked with you before, where they're getting mentioned in the media, mentioned in your show, in the program. What are some of the things people can do there?
Right, and there's a list of opportunities, but generally there's always some sort of a show guide. I can't tell you how many people don't submit an ad to appear in the show guide. That's ridiculous. You've paid for it. You want to show up to people. So that's something great to do. There might be speaking opportunities, or maybe you can do a cultural performance or something like that. Mm-hmm. Those are always in demand. Provide some sales promos or specials. If you want people to, especially consumers, if you want we'll talk about trade too, but if you want consumers to come to your booth, put a show special that says, this weekend only, we're going to give you an upgrade on your cruise package, or we're going to take 10% off your booking if you book at the show this weekend, or we're going to give you an iPod or an iPad or something like that if you sign up. We'll do a giveaway. So there are any number of things like that, and I guarantee you, consumers especially read through the fine print in that show guide, and they say, "Oh, so and so is doing a sale, or so and so is doing a this," and that is very incredible. It gets people directly to your booth, and once they're there, then it's up to you to make the pitch and to sell them on your product. We've had some amazing trip giveaways. South Africa Airways has worked with us for a number of years, and they provide a 9-day tour of South Africa, and we use it as a giveaway for people who sign up for our attendee surveys. And this past year for our Philadelphia show, we got them on the front cover of the newspaper.
Nice.
It was like $85,000 value for giving us that trip, because we were able to partner with the newspaper like that. So things like that are really great. And of course, you know, we can barter, we can talk about things. But yeah, definitely any of those will be really helpful in getting you ahead of people. And if you do a giveaway, then you might want to do something for radio or for TV or for print marketing. You just have to work with the show director, show manager, and figure out, all right, how are you marketing the show, and how can I enhance what I'm doing? And then provide something of sufficient value that would be of enticing worth to people to look at.
Yeah, not only does it help you if you're the exhibitor, but it really helps the show management and adds all this value to the show, because you're media partners and you're always looking for opportunities to spread the word before the show on all these cool things that people can see and do and connect. And so this is such a unique opportunity to stand out from the crowd. You need to talk to Jeremy and work with him, because this will give you extra promotion, and sometimes these extra promotions were going to cost you little or nothing besides what you're going to do, but you got to make the connection. You got to work with them. So let's talk about how people can exhibit. How can they get tickets? I'll bring up the web address in the background as we're talking about this.
Okay.
How can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, the website, it has pretty much all the information if you are interested in exhibiting or you're interested in just registering to attend. It's One World Travel Mart, MART.com. OneWorldTravelMart.com. We call it OTM for short. And from there you can see what our floor plan looks like. We've got the current one up. Right now we've got about 2/3 of the space has been filled. So there's limited amount of space left, so people do need to act fairly quickly, especially if they're looking for corner positions or great positions on the show floor. So that definitely is, the sooner people contact me, the sooner I get a contract, the sooner they get the best positioning they can. And then if you want to attend the show as a trade registrant, the program is up, and we're updating it every day, every week on what the options are, who our presenters are going to be. We've got some great keynoters that are coming in, and very excited about that. And then the registration fee, I think, is $20 online, and it'll be either $25 or $30 on site. So you can save a little bit now by going to the website and registering now. And we're expecting about 3,000 travel trade to come in. We think that's a good number to shoot for. We're working with all the big industry and media partners that we can to really get the word out and get people there to meet. Because at the end of the day, that's really what we want to accomplish, is to make sure that our exhibitors meet with the right people, and that our attendees, they're meeting with the right exhibitors, and really just to have that one-on-one connection.
Yeah.
And then for consumers, we won't start selling the show tickets until probably mid-August, and the show dates are September 27th through 30th. So we'll start our consumer marketing at that point, but we're working with the San Francisco Chronicle, some radio, TV, magazine programs in the area. So it'll be a good mix there, and we're expecting about 10,000 consumers.
Outstanding. Well, the days are the September 27th through September 30th. You and I didn't talk about this, but I'm just going to put you on the spot. I'm willing to bet because I like to have fun. I bet you we talk about promotions as a travel industry sponsor and co-promoter. I bet you I could get a few industry passes from you that I can give away for free on my show, future shows, to get people to participate in this show and to come to the show. And even if you're not going to exhibit this year, but you're thinking about it, I really recommend that you come and see for yourself what a professional run show is all about. Meet Jeremy, meet myself. I'm going to be there the whole 4 days, it's just going to be a really great opportunity. So I hope that you can help me out with some passes, my friend, that I can give away on my show. And,
I'll do that for you, Tim.
All right. So, really, well, on that note, one last thing. Jeremy and I did a travel trade show marketing webinar together last year, and I am going to be posting that live again. I think we're going to put it back up on my site. We're going to put it on the One World Travel Mart site, so that if you're exhibiting, or even if you're not going to exhibit, there are some marketing tips in this free webinar that will improve your bottom line. So look for an announcement from that soon. I'll have a link in the show notes about that. Jeremy, as always, it's a pleasure. I'm super excited about this show. I'm honored to be able to make a contribution to the team, as well as be a trainer at the travel trade, the travel trade component of this. And I'll have to tell you about my secret evening hospitality suite that I want to pull off. That will be lots of fun.
Oh, great. Thank you, Tim.
All right. Take care, Jeremy. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.